Hello and welcome back to Our View, A Woman's Perspective, the show where women come together to have real conversations and shine some light on some darkness, some very difficult and confusing topics that at times might not be what they appear at first, but upon further inspection, we can start to make some sense of them. You know, and today is no such exception. We're going to be talking about if jealousy runs Trinidad and Tobago. And I know that this is another topic, ladies, where we're going to have to really get into it. I'm joined here today by Marie, Alicia, and Mia. And we're actually joined by our fifth guest. You can't see him, but he's the green-eyed monster, as Shakespeare calls it. And that is, of course, jealousy. Now, the thing is, I would like to start first by clearing up the fact that jealousy and envy are actually two different things. We use them interchangeably, and you'll have to forgive us because in this episode, I'm sure we might do just that and use them interchangeably. But what really is the difference between the two?
Well, I think jealousy is the fear of losing something, and envy is something that you want to covet, right? That you want it.
That someone else
yes,
has.
that somebody else has, that you want it. Yeah, you want it, right?
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, this is the first time that I'm really thinking about this in depth, and I have been using those two terms interchangeably my entire life. So, you know, this is going to be a little bit new for me, this terminology for sure.
Yeah.
But I want to deep dive into it.
The other thing too is that there's a difference between rational jealousy and pathological jealousy. You know, and that is like rational jealousy is like something happens and you are experiencing feelings of jealousy in a way that makes sense, it's understandable, it's proportional to the situation.
Absolutely.
As opposed to pathological jealousy, where it's like you have a chronic problem, you're constantly jealous.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because if it's leading into that side, it has to be mental disorder kind of like style. It can't be just somebody regular would not think that way. So it's not normal, and that's okay too.
You think that pathological jealousy is an actual disorder, like a mental disorder?
I think you probably have a mental disorder, and that's why you're acting like that.
Yeah.
I want to add something. Given the fact that research shows that a lot of there's a link between jealousy and domestic violence. Yes, there is a link. And so my question then becomes now, is it that, especially for persons who would have lost loved ones to domestic violence, how do they reason that the reason why it is that their sister or their mother's partner killed them was because they had this mental disorder?
Well, that's the thing. So I feel like if you've never experienced a mental disorder up close, even the term narcissist, when people use that term so loosely, anything that's not normal, I hate to say it, probably is a mental disorder. That's not normal to kill somebody else. That's not normal.
It isn't.
It's not
That's
normal.
way beyond. I mean, and it doesn't have to be something as severe as that. But like even I could just venture a situation where an ex-boyfriend of mine who was very jealous, and we would go out and like we're at a nightclub or something or at a gathering, and you know Trinidad, you walk in, you know everybody. You're going hi, you go wrong, you give your kiss and you're like, hello, hi.
That was a problem.
What? I cannot tell you. You would be like, why you have to kiss every man in the room? And I'm like, we live in Trinidad and Tobago. Kissing someone on one side of the cheek is the customary greeting for this country that they live in. Please stop trying to gaslight me or make it seem like it's something else. You know, and that to me is where we veer into pathological jealousy without anybody dying. You know what I mean? Or anything as serious as that. It's like you are not seeing the world clearly and logically if you're that jealous.
And I know what I'm talking about, you know, especially relationship jealousy, which is kind of the most forefront jealousy that women think of, right? But there's so many different subsets and sections of jealousy, like familial jealousy, you know, mothers being jealous of their daughters, or fathers even being jealous of their sons, or siblings being jealous against each other, you know, workplace jealousy, things like that. And even friend group jealousy, platonic jealousy. I mean, it plagues almost everybody in every single relationship. You know what I mean? Any sort of human being relationship.
Yes. So, I mean, even that just brought something to my mind. I remember somebody giving me a story, and she is half Chinese, half black, and her mother had married a black man, and she would go by her Chinese grandmother on the weekends, and she has her cousins who are full Chinese, and she's telling me a story about how her grandmother would use different ways for her and her siblings. She
Wow.
would get like old green plastic cup,
Oh no.
and her not her siblings, her cousins would get. Let me tell you, that story was given to me 10 years ago, and it literally breaks my heart because I think of what damage that would do to a young child.
That instills
How
racial
that would
jealousy
hurt.
as well.
And
I
how
mean, that could be
terrible
such-
jealousy. And I feel like that is such a typical Trinidad household thing that sounds so hard for us to believe, but it is so prevalent.
Can I ask a
It's
question?
so prevalent.
A attorney question. Do we think that female siblings, so daughters, are more jealous of their male siblings, or male siblings more jealous of their female siblings? Which one do you think is more favored in a nuclear
it
family?
depends. Having brothers, I can't speak for having sisters. I think it depends. With
Well, yeah,
me,
you're the only girl.
I'm the only
Yeah.
girl.
Oh,
but
so okay. Well, you're
nice.
different.
But
Were you ever
in a
jealous of your
way,
brothers?
Yes. Yeah, so actually my oldest brother growing up, and when I hadn't really come on the scene yet in terms of music, everybody knew Dax, and still up to this day, everybody knows Dax. And I was like, I need
fill
to
them in so
Yeah.
they know who Dax is.
Yeah, I have two brothers, Phil and Dax Carter, and they're fantastic. And Dax is just out there. Yeah, you almost know the Carters. I mean, joking. Yeah. I used to be in a band called Crash, and together we have a family band called the Carters. Yeah, so Dax just had his name out there more, and everywhere I would go, somebody would hail Dax. I'm like, oh, God, I really have to put myself out there. So it wasn't more of like, snide and I just, how I want to be you. I was more like, wow, I really need to put myself out there. I really need to start performing amazingly the way he does. He performs amazingly. The man blows me away. Both my brothers blow me away. I will never get tired of watching them live. So yeah, there is.
But you're saying that you saw a little bit of jealousy in yourself towards your brother.
Towards my brother.
But did that motivate you to become better and to push yourself in your singing
Yes
career?
and no. Now I'm being pushed by my other brother,
Do you
Phil.
think you'd be a singer if your brothers weren't
Exactly. Great
musicians?
question. Great
Funnily enough, I was told by my mom that I was singing in my crib. So I was actually singing
You're
before
like,
my brothers.
yes, I would.
She was not wailing. She was holding a note.
I was holding a note, and so I was told from my mom's friend who actually trained two singers. Now one is an opera singer in New York, and the other one was me singing in my crib. So I guess I was singing before them, entertaining before them.
But still, no bit of jealousy kind of pushed you into,
No, we just kind of always knew.
Okay.
We always knew. Yeah.
I think it's interesting because when you look at the research, actually what has kept coming up over and over again with jealousy is that the sexes tend to envy their own sex. So women tend to envy other women and men tend to envy other men.
I'm a man,
know?
then.
And
I've always envied
And
men.
I'm glad you brought that up
Always
because I was
envy
about
men.
to say that my sister and I are 9 years apart. And growing up, it was always about her. I always used to feel as though my mother paid more attention to her than she did to me. So it was always, and then if I had to go somewhere, I always had to take my sister with me where I was going. And my sister, I love her dearly, but she's an acquired taste. You have siblings at every.
chaperone?
Ah,
Did she feel like a chaperone?
no. She was younger than me, but she has
she's
this
younger than you,
personality that you have to get used to.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, if it is she doesn't know you, it's the sourest face you will ever get.
Okay, no.
Yeah. So honestly, growing up, I used to feel as though my mother paid more attention to her, and it's only when I got older, those things changed. But growing up, just siblings, you're looking, and then I think middle child. So you have that, those who are older than you, those who are younger than you, and you're just there in the middle trying to prove yourself and prove your point. And try to establish yourself amongst your other siblings too as well. So that for me was my reality with respect to your question and us, that sibling, how do we feel, with each other growing
you have
up?
only sisters?
No, I have one sister and I have 3 brothers.
I know that a
nice.
subsection
You
of
know,
it is
mix-
also just women being jealous. You said it.
Yeah.
Or you said it. Women being jealous of women. But can women be jealous of men as well? And men being jealous of women? I
I've
think
seen
that's a
that.
great question to revisit
Yeah.
after the break.
Welcome back to Our View, A Woman's Perspective. So, we were discussing jealousy. And yes, we talked about family, yada, 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 mental health, but how about where and you'll know, those who know me, I like to dress sexy. Sarah, what do you think about that? What do you think about people dressing a little different than how you dress?
Sweetheart, I design bikinis.
Yeah,
I remember
bikinis
that's
are
the wrong
scandalous.
tree.
But remember we had a talk about, okay, this is how I have to dress, but I personally do not and cannot or don't wish to dress like this. What about people that do?
You're very right.
Yeah, dress like
No,
this.
I dress them. Is
Yeah.
my point. Like I love that.
So it's not
like, and
shocking.
I do think there's a line personally. Like you wouldn't see me. I don't really wear thongs or g-strings and stuff in public, which is a typical Caribbean girl.
Oh.
But I will design for girls who want them to wear them on the road for carnival.
Yeah, that's me.
So what you're saying is that you felt like I judged you? Did I say something? Or
No, it's more of a facial expression. So I was like, okay, definitely. I know that obviously my style of clothing, even my mother used to say, Marie, please tone it down. Please dress like a mother. And I was like, Mommy, but I'm an entertainer. You know, and I was like, yes, I understand. But I guess different strokes for different folks. But yeah, so obviously my style of wear is a little extreme because I'm the girl that you've seen a rave with nipple stickers and a see-through top.
Yeah.
So it will be definitely.
And I'm an appreciator.
Just now, sorry, I was just trying to get to the point of why you raised that point. Because as you said, if it is that, you know, this is the way that you wear, you dress, why are you feeling judged?
You think other women are jealous of you?
Not jealous, more of like
Envy?
why? Not me.
Well, no, but if this is your style,
I was still in shock that we're
Because
having
you
a
have
conversation
facial
about a
expression that-
facial expression that my face is showing it right now.
yeah, because I
she
don't
said what she
understand the
wants to
point.
dress like a porn star, and then you said you weren't like this. You're like, or
Yeah.
something. Like, you made a face.
Don't
then
remember this convo.
Because you
are
identify
something else.
this
Yeah.
as you being sexy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And this is
But when
your
you came out
interpretation of
today-
sexy.
When you came out today, I was like, I love your outfit. The girls look amazing.
Listen, I just want to get to.
I'm glad.
Do you think when other women judge you for dressing like a porn
extreme,
star,
yeah,
or
or
dressing
wanting to look like?
Do you
Or
think
whatever.
it's jealousy?
Do you
Is
think
that what you're
No,
saying?
I think it's more of why. Like it could go anywhere because I'm not in, I guess, anybody's heads. But why? Like why are you dressing like that, or why? As a 30-something-year-old, are you dressing like that? I don't know. I guess it's like dissecting of somebody else, and it's just not what you would go or the route that you would go.
Why
But
do
I'm
you
going a
care,
different
though?
route.
I think there's a lot of women who can relate.
Well, why do you care?
That's
though?
true. That's true. Long time my brothers asked me that.
No,
Why?
because if this is your
Overly
style,
sensitive.
this is your style. Why do you
It's
care?
true. It's true.
I can say something.
It's true.
I used to be a little bit of a hater. I'm still a little bit of a hater,
Yeah.
but I'm getting better. When I was self-conscious about my body, and seriously, when I was self-conscious about my body in college,
You need to shut up.
I used to be.
You just need to
I
shut
used
up.
to be looking at other women and be like, and judging
Who's-
them because I was jealous and envious of their body type, and that was a deeper issue that was rooted in myself that I had to literally pick up out of myself.
Yes,
and
Judge
hold-
Judy.
and hold the mirror to myself and say,
No.
Mia, why are you like
Hold
why
that
are you
mirror.
staring
That's what
at these
we
women
do
that
here.
look
Love it.
amazing? I was gonna say the F-bomb. That look amazing.
Yes.
Like, and it's a deeper rooted issue in myself. I was going around judging women, being like, "Oh, they should not be like their cellulite is showing." When because I had
That's
cellulite on my
confidence.
ass, and I was jealous of them for even being confident enough to go out like that.
I will sit here and say I admire women who are plus size and wear and are very skimpily clad.
gosh, agreed.
I say
Agreed.
that is confidence walking
Yeah.
down the road.
And I was jealous of that confidence. I was
BBWs.
envious of that confidence.
It's confidence. It is confidence walking down the road. And if it is people are looking at them and you have a problem, then you have a you problem
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they don't have a
Agreed.
problem.
Agreed.
And I just said that. I just said that I recognize that in myself,
Yes.
and I'm fixing it.
But coming back though to the topic of
Yes.
is T&T
Yeah,
run
I was
on
about to say
jealousy.
that, yeah.
You know, coming back
Does
to
turn out of
I am going to stand by the fact that for me, jealousy and envy are human emotions. We feel it.
Yeah, you taught me that.
But
With envy, it's
feel
not
it.
that bad.
You know,
It's
we
a nice
feel it. However, it's what we do with that emotion and how far
Yeah.
we take that emotion. It's in all the different situations, but then how do we treat with it?
But then based on your mental health, and that's a big one.
Well,
Yeah.
well, envy and
Based on
jealousy
your mental
can
health.
can be a catalyst for propelling yourself into working out, taking care of yourself, getting yourself correct, like
Yeah.
all of these different things.
Working
It was
harder,
for
for
me,
both.
honestly.
But
Yeah.
then you did something that many people don't do. You actually sat
Course
down.
corrected.
That's it. And you took stock of self.
Thank you. Somebody bring out the flowers.
No, but that's what it is. You took stock of self. And how many of us actually sit down and reflect and journalize and take note of, okay, I did this today. Why did I do this today? Why do I feel this way? How can I change that? How many of us actually do that? You put in the work.
To recognize jealousy.
I knew
That's
that
it.
I knew the feelings that I was experiencing was not healthy.
Yes.
Was not healthy at all. You know what I mean? And I think, especially my experience here in Trinidad, I think a lot of people or women are, I don't want to, be
Just
off.
say it. Say it.
Pull the band-aid off.
No,
Say it.
honestly.
I think are a little intimidated by beauty, and
Yes.
jealousy
Yeah.
propels
And
a lot of
sass.
propels a lot of
Sass.
like the female on female kind of like,
And I'm like,
But
hate
then
that
let's
goes
flip
on.
it.
Why?
How do we define beauty? Because that's a big thing too as well. In terms of, because society tells us how we're supposed to look. Society tells us, what is beauty.
Media.
And then when we go on social media now, the envy and the jealousy comes in there, because then we're looking now to see how do we measure up against those standards.
Yeah.
And then how does that play a part now in how we feel when I look at you, when I look at three of you, right? I'm natural, your hair is straight. There are certain circles you will go in where people will say, my form of beauty is not beauty. Yeah? And then how do you treat with that? Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm glad
I
you
felt
raised
that
that
in Trinidad
point.
for sure.
Well, I
I
want
felt
to.
that in Trinidad for sure.
Sorry, I just want to bring it back to
Yeah.
what we're talking about and kind of tie it up with a bow, right? Because I feel like we're talking about things that are very pertinent to the topic, but I just want to explain not explain, but relate it all to jealousy. And that is that we tend to be not only jealous of women, tend to be jealous of women, and also women often tend to envy looks more than men. So 23.8% of women envy looks compared to 13.5% of men. So we're twice as likely to be looking at looks, And the other thing is,
Admiring.
I don't know if you've ever noticed this, Mia, any of you, but if somebody is commenting troll comments on your page or whatever, it tends to be your gender and your age, and oftentimes your ethnicity.
Oh,
And I remember having a conversation. With another person who does a lot of TV on CNC3. I'm not going to say her name. She's an amazing woman. She knows who she is. She runs the game. But she was saying to me in my comments, it's a lot of East Indian women that are my age, and I just don't understand why they can't support me, because I feel like they should look at me as one of them. And I said, but it's because they could have been you, and they're not.
And it's salty that they're
and
not.
ugly, again, I'm not calling these people ugly, but the phrase is ugly hates pretty.
Yeah.
I have rarely ever
So I'm
seen
not
a
saying
pretty
it, but I'm
hater.
saying, oh God. Or hates a pretty.
Can I just say, when is the last time
Listen.
you clicked on a troll
Oh,
comment
God.
and it was either a
Older,
profile
so
picture that was not them or not a very good
Yeah.
person.
I'm just feeling the lava raining down the
Yeah.
comment section right now.
Yeah.
I think the
I
comment
just-
section-
Agreed.
Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder,
Yes,
and I
of
just
course.
want to say that, as far as my conversation with this person goes, it was very enlightening and almost freeing for her, where I said, don't take it so personally, it's more about them than it is you. We tend to
Very
be
true.
more jealous of people within 5 years of our age. So it's people we could, the more similar we are to this person, is the more likely we are to struggle with it. And comments can really damage somebody's psyche.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, there's a lot of insta flexing.
Yeah.
And that isn't, nobody likes that. When you actually look at it, nobody wants to see your champagne, nobody wants to see your handbag.
Yeah.
It's not aspirational. It makes people feel like,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
but it does.
Yeah, but they have many views though. People sit down, they look at these things, and they live their lives vicariously through it. They want to see what you're doing. They want to see how you dress, who you're going out with, who you're liming with, what you're drinking. And again, it still comes back to the same thing. Because jealousy and envy, they are social constructs, and society dictates for us what we are supposed to value. All those things tying together. And I find it quite ironic that the three of you are talking, we're here talking, and we're talking about, standards of beauty and who's jealous of who. in society, and when I grew up, this is what we identified as beauty. Black girls straightening their hair because we would say how locks and natural hair is nappy. That's not how you dress to go out. You need to dress up a particular type of way. All of those things played a part in how we as Black girls grew up. So, and those things allowed us now, again, because society identified for us what beauty is. Okay, I need to straighten my hair. I need to do this. I need to put curls. And even with you.
Even my grandmother didn't like my hair at all.
Exactly.
My grandma said, why you can't do so much pretty with your hair straight? And I was like,
and those things affect us.
Yes.
It's like a harmful seed being planted in you at a very young age. And you even, like, you look at somebody like Beyonce. Like, Beyonce has
what
hair
is her
like
natural
me,
hair?
as far as I
What is her natural hair?
Mia's like, I've got Beyonce hair.
There was a video recently where
and that's a role model.
Yeah.
You know, it's a kind of a scary thing. What jealousy can make people do. And we have to look at it as a society, how it's dividing us and turning women on each other.
But it really requires us to do what it is you did, reflect on ourselves. Why do we feel the way that we do? What are our triggers? What happened before that makes us feel a particular way now? And how are we going to move forward?
Absolutely.
Yeah? And it requires us to put in the work for us to really get to the bottom of this thing, because it really is a big issue with us in society.
I want to tie it back to what Mia said, because a lot of, I don't know when everybody's aha moment is going to be. But you cannot predict that. There's nothing that you can predict about life. But if we can all just hopefully stir it up so that we can face ourselves in the mirror and say, look, I have a problem, or I'm doing this is not healthy. I'm obsessing over someone's life, and I need to just focus on my life. And how can I heal? How can I better myself? How can I be the main role or the lead role in my life?
I love that.
I
love that. And on that note, we are going to go for a break, and we shall be right back.
Welcome back to Our View, A Woman's Perspective, where we're talking about that green-eyed monster in the corner, jealousy, right? And I know that we were discussing jealousy amongst women and beauty, but there's so many different aspects of jealousy, and I think one of them that I think is a little personal here is jealousy amongst social media, right? And we have read your comments on all of the videos, and I want to just point something out. Sarah, how do you feel about most of the comments being...
What do you mean? They're so nice.
All they're playing big and bad behind a screen.
I know, and most of you... No.
All right.
But like, do you feel some sort of way, maybe that they're jealous or envious of your status right now, being here, sitting here, talking about a woman's perspective on this platform?
I will say, first I'll preface this by saying this is not a scripted answer. I wasn't prepared to talk about this, so I'm just gonna spill it, you know? There was a point, and I haven't really been that public these past couple of years. Like I'm still on social media, but not doing something like this, you know? And I take this show very seriously as the fact that we're women coming together trying to do something good, something positive, trying to amplify voices. And it's important to have a space for all women, you know, and all women does include me. Does include, you know what I mean? As much as some people that might bother them that I have a platform, you know, because my opinions are not what they like to hear. But people forget that there's a real person there. And I always say, my back broad, I can take this, I'm so used to it. But, you know, I will say, in a rare moment of vulnerability, I was up late working on this show, and I looked at my phone and I was like, Jesus Christ, because I hadn't even, I said, what are these comments? And it is like all, and I'm like, we haven't even really got this thing going yet. And it's just, we live in such a takedown society. And it's so like, it's so negative, it's so bashing. And I'm like, I spoke for a collective 10 seconds in this clip, and it wasn't even anything that outrageous. So it was just so crazy to see. And the funny thing was,
were they men or women?
I started trembling. And it's not because I was scared. I just I just started feeling this involuntary reaction in my body, you know, and I felt like it was just like, wow, like this is old trauma resurfacing because I've been through it so much, you know?
Do you think that jealousy like intensely pollutes Trinidad specifically?
Intensely. I think it motivates us. It's almost like we have an economy.
Yeah.
But I also think there's an economy of victimhood, and I think those two are related. Because the problem with victims is a lot of the times they feel like they are owed something, which almost can make a victim a dangerous person. Yeah. Right? And I think that we are creating those people by creating these identity divisions. Right? And it just makes it impossible to relate to people. So people who do, because they don't look like me, or they don't worship God like me, or they don't come from the same whatever as me, they think that there's no way they can agree with my message. And I just want the message of this show to stand on its own. I want the women to come together and create something positive, not something that's going to be torn down.
I have to ask, like, did you go and see, like, was it more male or female, or like in terms of the responses, or was it a mix? Male?
Female. Always.
God, ladies, do better, please.
Focus on yourself.
Yeah.
No, but
Pull the mirror up. Pull the mirror up. Okay?
But does it? But
This
do
is
you?
your story.
But
Your
do you
story.
also think too as well that we, in addition to jealousy and envy and everything in the Trinidad and Tobago space, that people are also very unhappy?
Yeah.
yes.
Because I think
Definitely.
that
Look at COVID. We saw it go crazy with COVID.
yeah, because I think that for me to just look at you and find the most vile things to say about you, it means that, at least for me, there is something about me that I am not dealing with, and I'm trying to project that onto you. And I think that a lot of women too as well, we do that to each other.
Success breeds
That's
jealousy.
it. Instead of us actually going within and dealing with our own crap.
But do you think that happy people cannot be jealous, or happy people cannot envy others?
I think yes, we can. Because
I think we can
I'm a happy
control
camper.
it.
I like that you said
Yeah,
we.
I'm a very happy camper.
Yeah.
But again, it is what you do with it. How do you use those emotions and use them, you know, to better yourself? Because as I told you earlier, I love your breasts. Nice and perky.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
Her boobs are
I
nice and
love your
perky.
boobs, I gotta
As
say.
females, we will sit
Big,
down, we
big.
will look at women and say, I love her. I love her shape. She looks nice. It takes a very mature woman to look at another woman and say,
admire.
yes, she looks nice. Walk up to her and say, I love your makeup. I love your hair.
It's such a nice
do that all
feeling
the
when
That's
a woman
it,
does that.
right?
You don't know her.
That's
she doesn't
it.
owe you anything.
Yeah.
But she
And
still wants
so
to let
many
you
women,
know.
instead of giving the compliment, we look instead to tear down the person
Well,
instead.
that's my problem, because I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but it makes me so sad when the average response from a woman I've never met is an instant sour face or cut eye.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at her and admiring her instantly from all ages. It's not even my age group, it's not even 5 years older than me. Sometimes it could be 20 years older than me. And it's like,
Yeah, but can I tell you, that's how I know I look good.
yeah.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm
I
like,
walk
why?
into a room like an expo or something, and you just see
The
women.
woman's faces turn. And I'm like,
I was like,
I'm
yes, I'm
smiling.
on fire today.
I'm smiling at you, and I'm like, okay. All
I
right.
think that's women on women,
What
right?
is
Yeah.
that?
But I think also, what does man on man jealousy look like, or what does man on woman jealousy look like? Like, how does that
We
manifest
expect men
itself?
economic, like
Yeah.
that's the pressures that men face, and that's what makes they measure up to. So for them, it's like they're looking to see what men have, you know, and also they it's also about women too.
Yeah.
They see their women like other man's woman, like all of that is like a social
Yes.
status thing.
Yes.
Definitely, you can see where men also get jealous of men. Like we are here talking about women hating on women on social media because, as they say, social media is a woman's game.
Yeah.
Reputation damage is a woman's form of aggression, you know. But at the same time, you do see the men online commenting all kind of stupidness at each other, tearing down each other.
Yeah.
So, man, y'all are not excused from this conversation. But what I will say is that when you see somebody getting dogpiled on social media, and I've been there so many times, it's just kind of a joke now, and I'm stronger than most, but I know that most people are not as strong as me, you know, and it can push people to really dark places. If you see this happening, I assure you, these people are bullies who are motivated out of jealousy. Jump in and defend that person. You're so worried about directing their rage at you, but the reality is a lot of times what happens when you confront a bully, they boil the F down. They do. And I've watched it happen because I jump in for people all the time because I know how it feels. You know, so don't be afraid to do that, because you could actually really, it could be very meaningful to somebody because their world feels like it's upside down when they're getting just piled on top of.
Yeah, so guys, you can make your point, but sweetly. My dad would say, stroke me now. Stroke me now. Gosh.
No.
There are ways to say things.
Yeah.
You know
And
yourself.
I know that people think it feels good to be a bully, but it feels way better to defend somebody, to come to somebody's defense, you know, to do good with your words and your actions.
And counteract it, compliment. What did you like about it?
You also
say something nice.
Hold on, yes, but
oh my gosh.
But while all of this kumbaya moment sounds really nice, I mean, let's be fair. I don't know you. Something's happening to you online. People are trolling you. I don't care. I am going to watch, laugh, and then move on.
Spoken like a true trainer.
Why?
I mean, yes, and I'm just saying that, you know, to be devil's advocate.
Yes.
You know, I mean, yes, we want our one society to do better. We want them, you know, to be nicer to each other. But the reality is, 10 o'clock in the night, I can't sleep. I'm on my phone. I'm scrolling. I'm gonna laugh. I don't know you.
I don't know. I don't find bullying as funny.
How can we?
I find Trinise can be very mean.
Yes, of course we can.
I think winners focus on winning and losers focus on winners.
That may be, but then men, and while that sounds very nice to say it, the reality is that many of us in society, we are going to look and enjoy somebody else's downfall because it is not us. The focus is not on us. That's you. Yeah. That's you. And that's why on a normal, you're gonna go on social media. Sometimes somebody will put up a picture and I'm like, why all of these negative comments? Yes. For what reason?
Do you think that we give approval for scrutiny by putting ourselves in this spot here?
Of course.
But do we give like our approval, like that's okay, like green light, go ahead?
You are in it like no.
I know, I'm saying
pageant. Doing a pageant is literally offering yourself up to the public and going, hi, criticize me, critique me, please.
I think though there's a difference with polling and stuff like that where I'm like opting to be criticized all the time. I think that there's a thing in internet where like people think that hypercriticism is a form of like academia or just genius or intelligence. I see people like hyper criticizing on every single post, looking to pick out things. I'm like, that doesn't make you like a smarter person.
No, there is constructive criticism.
Of course.
Yes.
Right? There is constructive criticism.
Critique.
And then there's just people who are just being vile and nasty for no reason.
Yeah.
And I think that once you are doing anything, you open up yourself to be criticized. Yeah. And it's up to you to sit down and pull what it is you need to make you be better.
Strength of character.
And leave the rest.
Strength of character.
And then you have to know who you are taking that critique from too as well. Because sometimes people criticize having no experience whatsoever in doing what it is you are doing or even trying to do what it is that you are attempting to do. Yeah. So then what merit do their words have? But that takes growth. Yeah. That takes us really being self-reflective, maturity, and that's a daily process. Yes. And as you said, one of you said earlier, sometimes life does just be lifing, and sometimes you go back into that space where something that somebody says is going to bother you, but then you practice. Okay, it happened, you felt it, let it go, move on to the next thing, because people are always going to be talking and saying something. Yeah.
Channel that jealousy into a positive place.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. Not bad. My dad used to say, when they stop talking about you, don't worry.
That's
so
it.
If you know, again, as you said, when you put yourself out there, especially as beauty pageant, but even in the entertainment industry, there is and there definitely is going to be critique. And again, there's good critique, there's bad critique. Again, working on yourself. Let's all pull it back to yourself.
Yeah.
Let's all focus on ourselves. And with all that being said, we're going to take a break.
And we are back. This is Our View, a woman's perspective. And we are talking about jealousy in Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to be looking at now mental health and well-being and how jealousy affects that. All right, as we get older, we were discussing it earlier, envy tends to be less. I think we feel it less as we get older and as we mature and as we become more confident in ourselves too as well, in that, you know, what we gravitate toward tends to change because we ourselves also change too as well as we mature, right? What do you all think?
I think generally as you get older, your focus shifts.
Yeah.
So instead of focusing, as I've said before, on other people's lives and just trying to, I guess, be them, because maybe that's where jealousy kind of comes from. The focus is you.
Yeah.
Start to focus on the gifts that you have.
Oh my gosh, babe. And what a life that you have. This is your life. You are the lead role in your movie. Enjoy it. Love it.
You know,
but
sorry.
I
I would say that we're joking, but that's actually a good example. You know, you could have a girl who loves her boobs. She thinks she has great boobs, and it is like such a part of her identity. And then one day, Marie comes and sits next to her and just puts her to shame because Marie's boobs are amazing. But my point is, this could apply to anything. A man, he thinks he's tall. He loves his height. He uses that advantage, and then he meets about it tall. And what it does is you're literally almost like just narrowing down your self-worth to something that you like about yourself or that you value more than you should. And you're now saying this person is better than me and I'm now jealous of them. And it is also foundationally, like when we're getting into mental health, you're starting with a bad foundation because you're valuing something external so much more than you should. And we can never own anything. Change is always happening. So when you're jealous, it's because you're scared of losing something that you're clutching way too tightly. You have to accept that it's never going to last.
I love how you mentioned you can't own anything.
Well, you can't lose your boobs. So.
And the importance of letting go. That is such an important point. I love it. Because when we realize we don't own people, we don't own things, we only have these things and these experiences temporarily, how we attach ourselves to them, that changes. So I'm so glad you raised that point. And it really makes us look at the whole envy, jealousy topic differently too as well. When we realize, but listen, I don't own this. And it's in my life now. I'm grateful it's here. But if it has to go,
and you have to admit that it's hurting you. You're hurting yourself mentally. It's attacking your mental immune system to be jealous of something else. And it's like the rot sets in the small things and then it just expands. And that's literally where we're running into mental health issues, where it's destroying your relationships, it's destroying your peace, it's causing chaos. It's unhealthy.
And realizing that life is not a comparison game, right? Because comparison is evil. And that's where jealousy and envy roots from, right? It's constantly comparing yourself to others. You were talking about, you know, a girl sitting next to her and comparing herself to Marie. Like that in itself is a catalyst for jealousy and having your life just on hold for others and not about yourself.
You're comparing your chapter to somebody else's chapter, which is a completely different book.
It's a completely different book, and you are a completely different author, and the plot lines are completely different, right?
What are we doing in terms of mental health? What are we doing in Trinidad to help ourselves? What's the first step? I think the first step is knowing that what I'm doing is not healthy. So what's next?
And especially if it is that culturally, this is what I know. Because, and as we are talking about mental health, one of the things we don't do here in Trinidad and Tobago is,
Get
you
help.
know, that's it.
Get help.
We think we can, we're tough. It will just
Guilty.
pass. You know, we'll play some music. We will go to the gym.
We just power through.
That's it.
Or bury it.
But the truth is, 50% of those dealing with chronic jealousy are suffering from low self-esteem, depression. You're also seeing a lot of correlation with higher levels of stress and anxiety. You know, and that's taxing on people And literally, these are the things that lead to suicide. These are the things that never leaving your home again. So on a societal level, we're watching that break down as things are starting to crumble. We saw it really exacerbated with COVID, and you saw people going crazy because they were literally like, my mental health is going insane. I can't do this anymore. You saw it online. The trolls just multiplied online in a way we'd never seen before.
Maria, I can see you getting really emotional.
I know, Maria's like trying to...
Do you want to talk about it?
Putting it in.
This is a safe space. That
Okay, it's that time of the month, guys.
No, but seriously, what's going on?
But yeah, mental health, it comes out of nowhere. And I think for myself recently, I started looking at my actions because things I've gone through in my life, I thought I was fine. And sometimes you can't be experiencing something because of what you're experiencing. So that is what I'm going through. And then it's sad when people around me who I love, whether I'm the person I'm dating or my friends, have to say, what you're doing consistently when you're upset is not healthy at all. I was like, it's not a normal reaction. And then you're realizing that the same person that you thought was causing you trauma, you're becoming them. And that's been happening to me. So again, whether you think it's okay to troll somebody online, that is not a normal behavior pattern. And I hope we all, like myself, see yourself up close with a mirror and be like, what I'm doing is not normal. And it's even worse when the people around you that love you have to tell you, this is not normal. I love you, but this is not normal at all.
And jealousy can masquerade itself in so many different ways, right? It's so important to recognize those ways. It's so important.
People hide it. They don't want people to know how jealous they are. So they just ask about your life or things like that, you know? I've trained myself to look at those comments and literally, you just see, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. So I see these people and I treat them with sympathy. You know, and that's why I'm able to just kind of let it roll off.
And I think Trinidad needs more sympathy, needs more empathy.
Empathy.
That's it. Trinidad needs more empathy.
Jealousy can be used for good, huh? It can be used to make us more competitive. We can look at other Caribbean islands and be like, yo, they're doing this really well. Jamaica is killing it with carnival. We need to up our game with carnival. You know, things like that. Like we can use it to motivate us, where you can be, as a woman, you can be in a professional environment and say, listen, my manager has that corner office. I want that corner office. So I'm gonna put in the extra time.
I was jealous of my superiors. Check every month and I get it. You know, I got it. I worked hard and I got it. So that's where I am. You know, it is propelling in some point, right?
That's cool.
So I do see a great side to jealousy, but yes, I still think empathy, especially when you see that your jealousy is rooted in self-loathing, right?
Yeah, because I thought it was unhealthy, but talking to you and I'm like, okay, no. Especially with when you said no, actually, it could propel you. You know,
it can.
Again, you never stop learning. You never stop learning until you die.
And
I really thought it was unhealthy.
And I think as women too, as well, we all have our stories. You know, wherever you come from, whatever size you are, we all have our stories. And it's important that as women and as men too, we have people to talk to and bounce ideas and stuff off of. We need a support system, because sometimes, like how you had mentioned earlier, you had those negative thoughts about you in your head. Sometimes a lot of us, we don't have anybody in our circle who can talk us out of those negative thoughts. And
I had to talk myself out of it. I was even, embarrassed to talk to others about that. Because how do you even put those into words? You know what I mean? How do you even express those feelings? Verbally. So in going through it by myself was definitely tough, but definitely worth it.
So being able to, one, identify it, this is what it is, and then, okay, I feel this, why do I feel it? And then what am I going to do now that I have felt it?
Agreed.
How am I going to express it in a healthy way? It's not that we're not trying to say you can't express your feelings. Jealousy is a human emotion. It's just don't do it like you're a troll from under the bridge, lashing out at everybody in a 5-foot radius.
Let's go even further. Don't allow it to consume you to the point where you are then causing harm to somebody else, where you are picking up a gun or you're picking up a knife to kill somebody else. And there are so many stories of mothers and sisters and different partners where people would have lost people because of that. And in our space, we constantly hear of so many stories of women being killed. by their partners for one reason or the other. And then, and I think I would have mentioned earlier, the statistics show a lot of these domestic violence cases are because of jealousy.
Correct.
How do we control ourselves and control our emotions and manage ourselves properly so that we don't cause harm to other people? And I think that's a really important thing that we need to get to as a society. How do we treat with these things? Because it affects us, and it affects us badly. Yeah.
We have to control our reactions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mia, I would love to hear your final thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think my final thought on this is, after reflecting on myself and what I've been through with these women here, self-reflection is intensely important. Admittance is very, very important. Look at your behaviors, look at who you're hurting, look at who you're affecting. And if it's yourself, you need to reevaluate what you're doing and where this is coming from. Look at where it's stemming from. Look at the seeds, look at the roots of the issues that you're experiencing. Yeah.
What I would like to say is that take some time with yourself. And if it is you don't journal, for me, journaling helps, whereby it is you're able to write down how you feel and why it is you feel the way that you feel. And if it is you identify that you cannot deal with your problems on your own, get help. Because sometimes it starts off very small. Envy and jealousy, I see something, I find I should have that, or I think this person is going to take this from me. It starts off small. But if it is we do not control how we allow it to fester, we can end up in some serious problems and making some serious actions and doing things that we cannot take back. So if it is you need to get help, get help. That's important.
So my take is going to be what I've said before. It's just reassessing your focus and focusing on yourself. Focusing on yourself, remembering that this is your life, your story, whatever is your form of healing. I mean, everybody's style is different. I'm just hoping that your aha moment happens now.
This was a tough one.
It was, yeah.
I'm gonna butcher a quote right now by Freddie Mercury, who I love to death. Oh, of course you would. He's the best singer. And it's ironic because he says somebody will always be better than you, stronger than you, smarter than you, whatever. But they will never be you. And you know, I look, and the irony of it is that it came from Freddie Mercury, who there is only one Freddie Mercury. And that's what I want people to know, is that you are a package of amazing things, of gifts that God gave you. And I'm not here to tell you don't be a jealous person because you're hurting the people around you. I'm here to tell you that that is definitely a point, but I'm here to tell you don't do it because it's hurting you. You are disenfranchising yourself. You have so much to gain from just being confident and comfortable in who you are and focusing on yourself. Anyway, I really appreciate you ladies. I think you all have been just wonderful. I think we know that jealousy kills, and I'm resisting the urge to tell people to die slowly, you know? No, we don't. Jealousy kills, and we as a nation, we should be able to rise above it, you know? So thank you so much for joining us on Our View, A Woman's Perspective, where we may not have all the answers, but we ask some pretty good questions.